Undefeated clashes, crosstown rivalries, and matchups that could carry a whole lot of playoff implications. You name it, we've got it in this week's Big Sky Friday Night Show. It's week 4, so you know the drill. I give the statewide highlights. You sit back and enjoy the beginning of your weekend. And if you're anything like me, you've been waiting all week for some football. So let's kick it off with our game of the week.
1, 2, 3, win!
And that'll bring us to Manhattan for the Class B game of the week. It's a battle of unbeatens with Three Forks seeking their first win over the Tigers since 2009. First possession for the Wolves, passes bobbled and picked off. Right place, right time for Braden Zickman as he bursts through the gap for 6. Speaking of finding the gap, here's some retribution for Cannon Richmond. 50-yard rumble for the QB, and he finishes the drive with the 10-yard gallop. 4th and 4 now for the Tigers, and Tyson Pavlik tosses a lollipop right into the breadbasket of Matthew Fenno. Home squad back in front, and just before half, they add another as Marshall Freeze runs it in for 6, and this was circled on my calendar for a reason. Here's a top play nominee. Phenomenal pick from Matthew Fenno, but Wolves howl back 13 unanswered as Richmond finds Pessel with the shovel pass, and then after recovering a fumble on the kickoff, Richmond will tumble in for 6, and we're tied. We've got Tigers and Wolves. And how about a circus? Pavlik to Sam Stewart, who puts on the juggling act to score on his keister. That would be the deciding play as the Tigers prowl past the Wolves 28-20.
Let's go! Nice on 3! 1, 2, 3! Nice!
Can you tell it's crosstown? Hellgate Knights coming in looking to put an end to a 14-year-long losing streak to Sentinel, while the Spartans look to keep their loss column a nice shiny goose egg, but that's going to be a challenge lining up against future Grace Parker Link, who turns this swing pass into a 50-yard field flipper. But Rudy Hess wins the foot race and saves the touchdown, and the hustle pays off. One play later, Vince Poffhausen hangs one a little too long, and Carter Jensen comes down with the pick, and we're going the other way. Sentinel's turn now, and the Spartans reach into their bag of tricks for their crosstown rival. That's running back Caden Fennis throwing to a wide open Jace Edie, and moments later, Rudy Hess on the goal line sneaks his way through for the 7-0 lead, and fellow Sentinel QB Tucker Lasovich says quit hogging the spotlight. He keeps it himself for the goal line score just before half to double the lead to 14-0. Hellgate makes it interesting, but ultimately comes up short once again to the purple and Sentinel remains unbeaten, taking it 28-7. Yeah, these Jefferson fans are ready to roll as it's homecoming night for the Panthers. Jefferson welcomes in the Whitehall Trojans as both teams are looking to get back in the win column following week 3 losses. This matchup gets off to a wild start as both teams give up turnovers, starting with this muff punt by the Panthers, and the Trojan QB coughs up the ball and Jefferson recovers. Fortunately, these drives would stall, but the Panthers do scratch the first points of the game by getting a paw on this punt to set up the offense in fantastic field position. And Jefferson's Tyler Zodi takes the ball for himself and crosses the goal line for 6. This Panthers defense was relentless tonight as big man Wences Martinez pounces on the quarterback and gets the strip sack, and his teammate Cooper Mikesell gets the recovery. Then Zodi rewards Mikesell with the easy walk-in tutty. Add a way to get it done on both sides of the field, young man. But that's not all for this touchdown party as Kobe Brunette makes a move to dodge a defender and bolts into the end zone for the score. And the next Whitehall offensive series, Brunette reads the play and gets the easy pick 6. Let's go, Kobe. Pop off then. Jefferson runs away with this game and gets the dub 42-0. And don't go anywhere. We've got plenty more games coming your way, but before we head to a break, let's check our statewide scoreboards.
Big Sky
Sky Friday nights. We'll get right back into the action here, taking it east of the divide to Bozeman's Van Winkle Stadium, a.k.a. Tommy Rooney's home away from home, 4th straight week at Van Winkle for you, Tommy. I'd imagine you're kind of like the guy people hit up to get the Wi-Fi password at this point. Hawks, we're back home tonight. How'd things work out?
Thank you, Alex. I'm loving it here. How could you not? And I'm joined by my guy, Reese Sutherland here. Reese, how did it feel to get that win tonight?
It was awesome. A little revenge game from last year. Offense fired off the ball, was ready to go. Defense, we need to clean some things up before next week.
It was homecoming night here at Van Winkle Stadium for Bozeman High, and boy, did they put on a show. First drive of the game for Great Falls, and quarterback TJ Dews does it himself to put the Bison up 7. Following possession, and the Hawks quarterback Van Shockley hits Reese Sutherland on the swing pass, and he gallops into the end zone to tie it up. And no, you're not seeing double. They run the same play the next possession, and it produces the exact same result. Sutherland with his second score of the game, as Coach Vegan approves. But Shockley can make it happen with his legs too. He barrels his way into the end zone and makes it 21-7 Bozeman. And here's the best play you'll see all day. Dews rolls out and finds Steele Harris, who makes a guy miss, then breaks 2 tackles, then reads his teammate's block, cuts it back across the field, and scampers his way in for the 80-yard touchdown. After that play, Great Falls said, let's get this kid the ball some more. So they put it in my QB, and he does the rest. They are not going to catch him, and he takes it in from 85 yards out for the Bison. Bozeman would go on to win 71-52. That's right, 120-plus points were scored in this game. Bozeman moves on to 3-1, and they'll have Gallatin coming to town for the crosstown rivalry next week. And watch out for my ginger brother here, putting up 3 touchdowns in the first half. Look out.
All right, thanks, Tommy. Don't think I've seen a 70 burger before, but let's keep things rolling up in Kalispell. It's Capitol and Glacier, a rematch of last year's state title. Wolfpack has some unfinished business. Glacier features a rushing attack that would make Vince Lombardi smile. Asher Kanopik had himself a $124 and 2 tutties tonight, but not to be outshined is his fellow back Trey Ramey, reaching the end zone too. And how about some love for the big boys on D? Lyman William Massell tips a pass in the air, and teammate Jesse Bain says, look what I found. A Lyman touchdown has me more excited than my 4-year-old nephew on Christmas morning. The boys are hyped as Glacier rolls to a dominant 56-6 win over the defending state champs, and safe to say they got their get back from last November. And when we return, it's time to name our next 3 Play of the Week candidates. But before we head to break, let's take a peek at the statewide scoreboards.
Welcome to Today. Thanks.
NBC Montana High School Football Play of the Week, sponsored by Republic Services.
In my 3 years here at Montana, I find the competition and highlights only get better the deeper we get into the high school football season, and that's good news for us because right now it's time to name our top 3 plays of the week, and then you'll help us find the top dog. Let's send it to our game of the week. Intercepting Cannon Richmond is hard enough, but Matthew Fenno can go ahead and throw a professional juggler onto his resume after this circus catch, and he made it against a former play of the week candidate. It's always personal in Crosstown, and Sentinel's running back Caden Fennis skipped leg day this week to work on his arm, hits a wide open Jace Edie for the big gain. Silly Hellgate, trick plays are for Spartans. We'll wrap things off from Bozeman, where Great Falls Steele Harris says, defenders beware. Nobody's bringing down this man on a mission. The last time a Steele Harris made a play like this, his name was Franco, making an immaculate reception. They all look like winners to me, but there's nothing fun about a participation trophy. So we got to find a winner. That's where you come in. Use the QR code on your screen or head to our sports page on our website at nbcmontana.com to cast your vote. Polls close Thursday. We'll announce the winner at 10. And with that, week 4 of the high school football season is in the books, but the weekend is far from over. Join us tomorrow night at 10, where we'll have all the action and reaction from Montana and Montana State's home matchups. They're coming in as heavy favorites, but I'll knock on wood or glass to not jinx anything. But for now, have a good night, everyone.